My husband, 34 male, cheated on me, 33 female, while I am 8 months pregnant with our second child. My husband and I have been together for about 8 years. Recently, he went on a trip and he hooked up with someone. He swears they didn't actually have sex, but did everything else. I wasn't on the trip because I'm 8 months pregnant and not allowed to fly. He thought that I would be upset but would get over it because we used to have an open relationship back in our 20s. He wants that open relationship again and basically has said that in 6 to 12 months after the baby is older, we can discuss it and reevaluate. He said that if that's not what I want, then he'll make the divorce as easy for me as possible. I feel like he has ruined my entire life and I can sleep at night. Sometimes I fall asleep at work or on a couch a little bit after work. He just sleeps peacefully next to me like he has done nothing wrong and everything is fine. He acts like things are totally normal between us, and when I am not nice to him, he asks if my back hurts or if I'm having contractions. Like, there is no reason for me to upset with him. He's trying to make it up to me by taking me on lots of dates and doing more around the house and stuff. I don't know what to do. I feel trapped because of the kids. Daycare for both of them, we will be my entire paycheck until our oldest starts school about 2 years. And even then, I don't know how can possibly afford to raise 2 kids. Or be a good parent to 2 kids all by myself. Being a single mom sounds like a nightmare to me. I just feel like my whole life is fucked and is falling apart and I can't do this. I told my husband and I don't want the baby I'm pregnant with. And that was the only thing I've said that concerned him and he suggested maybe I get therapy. I'm too embarrassed to talk to my friends about this. They all thought the open relationship was stupid back then when we did it. And I think if I try to talk to them, they'll just tell me I knew who my husband was when I married him. So, what did I expect? My parents are dead, and I have no one but myself to rely on. I just feel like I have no good options. Stay with a shitty asshole, selfish, entitled cheater, or leave and be completely broke and alone and exhausted for 18 years and raise my kids in a shitty, broken home. And I don't know what to do.
You shouldn't have to pay for daycare or other child expenses alone. Those are his children too. Equally his responsibility. Get a good lawyer and secure a fair child support agreement. Beat him to the punch. As soon as you have the baby and are well enough, serve him with divorce papers. He's trying to bully you. Take a deep breath. Many people have left abusive relationships, and that is what this is, and into worse or more scary circumstances than what you've described. There are options, you just need to discover them. There are ways out, there always are. One step at a time. I'm sorry for your pain. But you can totally do this, and you aren't trapped unless you allow yourself to be. Your broken home wouldn't be shitty. Plenty of kids are raised by divorced parents, and that doesn't dictate the quality of the home. Divorcing him absolutely does not mean that you will be alone, broke, and exhausted forever. You can do this. Something I've seen floating around here before: it takes two to open a relationship, it takes one to close it. Neither of those happened here. Your husband arbitrarily opened the relationship on his own, and by opened, he means cheated. Now he's insisting that you both have to agree in order to close the relationship, and thus since you don't, the relationship stays open or divorced. A relationship/marriage can survive cheating, but it can't, and shouldn't, endure that kind of shitty entitlement and piss-poor communication. Ignoring your pain and attributing it to your condition is shitty. Blithely continuing as though there's a quantifiable number of loads of laundry or meals made or date nights out can make up for that kind of betrayal is shitty. Not to mention you're 8 months pregnant. He should have been pulling his weight before because of that alone. And most importantly, jumping straight to ultimatums, open relationship or divorce, is fucking shitty. I'm sorry you are going through this, and that you are forced to make a difficult choice. You did nothing to deserve this, and your friends can kick rocks if they think the previous status of the relationship has any bearing on whether or not your husband is an pimple. Okay, I'm gonna be a little rough on you. My mom stayed with my asshole dad for every reason you are considering staying with your asshole husband. You need to snap out of it. If you stay, it will ruin your life and your children's life. My siblings are angry, bitter. One is using drugs to cope with the crap life my parents gave him, because they were so focused on how much they hated each other. Oh, and my mom thought she was doing a good job protecting us from him, and she did, but it made her crazy. So crazy in fact that she broke her hand the other day punching someone, and is sleeping out of her car. Do you want that for yourself and children? Get out now. Get a lawyer. Figure out daycare, or go move in with your parents, sister, grandparents. Get on welfare if you have to. Staying is not an option, so figure out what you are going to do. Get passionate about your life, get fired up. Or you're going to end up like my mom, and she's a really sad woman. My shitty broken home is pretty awesome. We have a tidy little unit, we are a loving family to each other, there's no one in this house who makes me unhappy, I get to make all the decisions, we sing and dance and watch cartoons in the middle of the night when we are sick. This is a shock to you, and it's awful timing, and you have a baby to grow and birth and care for. I think give yourself some time to not deal with this. Promise yourself that you will make decisions in a year or so. Take that year to get yourself into the best possible position. Do lots of self-care, bond with your new child, start some ditch-him savings, explore housing and childcare options. It might seem a lot less scary and miserable to be a single parent once you've had time to gather info. I'm not sure I have any advice for the OP, but this is such a heartbreaking post. Hugs from an internet stranger. I would probably seek personal counseling to help deal with my emotions. Because your hurt and anger is totally justified. And then perhaps see if your husband would do couples counseling with you to see if there is any possibility of working out a compromise until your kids are at least in school and you feel like you can realistically manage on your own. He doesn't necessarily have to know that you want out. I think it's understandable that you feel like your whole world has been turned upside down. But if you end up divorcing, it does not necessarily mean that you will be a single mom forever. Plenty of good step parents are out there. But that's getting too far ahead, and you can end up driving yourself crazy with what ifs. For now, figure out what you need, one step at a time. Some support and perhaps some legal advice, and a short-term plan for dealing with your husband. Personally, I would suggest you talk to those friends of yours. If they would hold your past mistakes against you, especially after you acknowledge them as mistakes, they are not very good friends. Are you civil enough to make an agreement outside of the court? If so, in my state you can come to agreements and have them placed into the system by the courts. You have to go through remediation with a judge to fully approve it, but if you too can do that, you can have him pay child support plus childcare. Medical expenses should be 50-50, as in he has to help provide insurance for the children, as well as help provide basic needs, food, shelter. Otherwise, here they calculate income for child support. It's never much, and it's gotten significantly lower over the years. You can also file for alimony or spousal support, meaning he still has to provide to you the income you're losing to help support your lifestyle and provide for his 2 children. I would contact an attorney. If things can be worked out outside of court, I highly suggest it. I wish I could give you a hug. I know being on your own and leaving him seems daunting and impossible, but it's not. There's assistance for a reason. You'll get child support, possibly even alimony. I'm not saying it's not hard. It is really hard. I dreaded the idea of being a single mom again, but look at your child and look at yourself and know that you both deserve better. Know that your choices now will have an effect on how your child perceives relationship dynamics. Beyond that, you deserve to be happy. If you want a monogamous marriage, you deserve that. Believe that you're worth the fight and struggle it will take.